I want to begin with a truth that many avoid, a truth so profound it unsettles the very foundation of our existence. Pain is inevitable. No matter how much we strive to evade it, to push it away with distractions or denial, suffering will find us. This is a universal human condition. The question is not if pain will visit us, but how we will respond when it does. Pain is often seen as a cruel enemy, something to be feared, hated, or ignored. We live in a culture that glorifies comfort, achievement, and control, yet pain is the great equalizer. It knows no boundaries of wealth, status, or age. It does not discriminate. From the richest to the poorest, from the youngest to the oldest, suffering touches all. But what if pain is not merely a curse? What if hidden beneath its harsh exterior there lies a secret? A meaning waiting patiently to be discovered. This hidden meaning does not erase the sting or the sorrow, but it transforms suffering from a meaningless burden into a path toward profound growth. I speak not from abstract theory, but from the depths of lived experience. I have faced the unthinkable, the loss of my family, the horrors of concentration camps, the daily confrontation with death and despair. And yet, amid the darkness, I found a glimmer of light, a revelation that reshaped my understanding of life. Suffering, when met with the right attitude, can become a source of meaning. Consider this: when everything is stripped away, possessions, status, freedom, even when the body is broken, the mind battered, there remains one thing no one can take from you: the freedom to choose your attitude. The freedom to choose your attitude. This is the last of human freedoms, and it is the foundation of meaning. You may not control your circumstances, but you can control your response. Choosing meaning in suffering is an act of defiance, a declaration that life, despite its pain, is still worth living. It requires courage, not the absence of fear, but the strength to face fear and move forward. Pain breaks us open. It shatters our illusions, strips away superficial identities, and exposes the raw core of our humanity. This exposure is terrifying, but it is also liberating. It reveals what truly matters beneath the noise and distraction of everyday life. Have you ever noticed how the most painful moments often become turning points? Moments when the ground beneath you shifts and suddenly the path forward becomes clearer. That is the hidden purpose of suffering, to reorient your soul toward what is authentic and meaningful. Pain teaches us about limits, our own and those of the world. It humbles us by reminding us that control is an illusion. In surrendering to this truth, we find a new kind of freedom. Not freedom from pain, but freedom from the fear of pain. This freedom allows us to meet life with grace, to say, I do not know what lies ahead, but I will face it with courage. In the darkest moments, courage can be but a flicker, a fragile light in the night. But that flicker is enough. It is the seed of hope. Hope is not passive or naive. It is a deliberate choice, a stance of the soul that believes in meaning despite uncertainty. It defies despair and affirms life. It is the anchor that holds us steady in the storm. I invite you to ask yourself, what meaning might your pain hold? What lessons is it offering beneath the surface? Perhaps it calls you to deeper compassion for yourself and others. Perhaps it awakens a purpose you had not seen before. Or perhaps it simply invites you to be present, to feel, to breathe, to exist fully in this moment. The journey through pain is unique for each person. The hidden meaning of your suffering is yours alone to discover. But know this, you are not alone. Throughout history, countless souls have walked this path. They have stumbled, fallen, and risen again. In doing so, they have found light, and so can you. The path is neither straight nor smooth. It is marked by setbacks, doubts, and moments of despair. Yet every step forward is a victory. Meaning is found not in comfort, but in engagement, in the willingness to participate fully in life, even when it hurts. Pain teaches us to cherish joy more deeply, to value connection more profoundly, to live with presence and gratitude. It strips away the trivial and reveals what truly matters. You begin to understand that your life is not defined by your suffering, but by your response to it. This realization liberates you from the role of victim. You become the author of your own story. And in that authorship lies power. The power to transform pain into purpose, loss into learning, darkness into light. Meaning waits for each of us, not as a curse, but as an invitation to awaken, grow, love, and live fully. Suffering is a language of the soul. It speaks not with words, but in sensations. A deep ache, a restless heart, a quiet despair. To listen is to translate these sensations into understanding. We often try to silence pain with distractions or denial, but in silence, pain's voice grows louder. It calls us to pay attention, to slow down, to reflect. Have you noticed how the most painful experiences often become turning points? Moments when the ground shifts beneath you and the path ahead is revealed with new clarity. That is suffering's hidden purpose. To redirect the soul toward authenticity. Pain teaches us humility by revealing our limitations and reminding us control is an illusion. This humility is not defeat, but surrender to life's mystery. Freedom comes not from control, but from the release of fear. This freedom allows courage to arise, the courage to say, I will face what comes, even without knowing the outcome. Courage may seem fragile, a flicker in the dark, yet it is enough to kindle hope. Hope is an active choice, a commitment to find meaning despite uncertainty. It rebels against despair and affirms life's value. Ask yourself, what is my pain inviting me to see or become? What deeper compassion, purpose, or presence might it reveal? The journey is individual but not solitary. History is full of those who have walked through darkness to light. The road may be winding, with setbacks and despair, but every step toward meaning is a triumph. Pain teaches us to cherish joy, deepen connection, and live gratefully. It reveals what matters beneath superficiality. Your life is not your pain, but your response to it. This awareness frees you from victimhood, making you the author of your story, transforming loss into wisdom and darkness into illumination. Meaning is a patient invitation to awaken, to grow, to love, to live. Pain is not merely a personal affliction. It is a universal experience that binds us in shared humanity. When you suffer, you join an ancient lineage of souls who have struggled, endured, and found meaning. This shared experience can be a source of comfort. You are not isolated in your pain. Others have walked this path before you, and others will walk it after. In that connection lies healing. To suffer is to be human. To be human is to be vulnerable. Yet vulnerability is not weakness. It is the birthplace of courage, authenticity, and love. When we open ourselves to pain, we open ourselves to life in its fullest spectrum. We embrace both shadow and light, despair and hope, loss and joy. Pain disrupts our ordinary existence. It forces us to pause, to reflect, to reevaluate. It asks profound questions. Who am I when everything familiar is gone? What remains when I am stripped of all but my essence? These questions, though uncomfortable, are the doorways to transformation. Meaning arises not from the answers alone, but from the courage to ask. In suffering, we meet our deepest selves, raw, vulnerable, yet unbroken. This meeting can be terrifying but also liberating. It frees us from false identities built on external validation. We discover a self grounded not in achievement or appearance, but in the dignity of simply being. From this place, we can begin to rebuild. Not a reconstruction of what was lost, but a creation of what can be born anew. This creative act is the essence of human freedom. We are not passive victims of circumstance. We are co-creators of our existence, even in suffering. You may ask, how do I find this meaning? Where do I begin? Begin with presence. Be present with your pain without judgment. Allow yourself to feel without resistance. This presence is an act of radical acceptance. It creates space for healing and insight. From presence flows awareness. Awareness of your inner landscape. Awareness of what you can control. Your attitude, your choices. Awareness that suffering is part of the human condition, not a personal failure. This awareness is the foundation for meaning. It invites you to choose purpose over despair, to choose engagement over avoidance, to choose hope over hopelessness. Meaning is not given, it is created. It is found in the way you respond to life's challenges, in the love you give and receive, in the courage to stand and move forward. Pain, then, is not meaningless. It is a crucible, a sacred fire that refines the soul. And through this refining, you are transformed. You emerge not as you were, but as you were meant to be. This is the hidden meaning of pain you need to discover. In this journey through suffering, you come to realize that pain can teach you about life in ways joy never could. Joy often passes quickly, like a fleeting breeze, while pain demands your attention, your presence, your engagement. It asks you to wrestle with the deepest questions, to confront the most profound truths. What is the purpose of my existence? What is truly valuable? What is the nature of freedom? Through suffering, these questions cease to be abstract and become urgent, alive. Pain strips away the distractions and superficialities that often cloud our vision. It clears the path to what matters most: connection, love, meaning. Have you noticed how pain sometimes reveals the hidden strength within you? Strength that you never knew existed until it was tested. This strength is not invincibility. It is the resilience to endure, to adapt, to grow. Resilience is not a denial of suffering, but a testament to the human spirit's capacity to transcend it. Even when the body feels weak, the soul can remain strong. This strength is born from choice, the choice to face suffering with courage, to seek meaning despite hardship. It is a choice you make again and again, each day, each moment. Meaning is not a destination but a way of being. It is found in the small acts of kindness, the moments of connection, the decisions to keep moving forward. You may ask, what if I cannot find meaning? What if the pain is too great? These doubts are natural. Meaning does not come easily or automatically. It requires patience, openness, and the willingness to suffer without immediate relief. It requires faith in the possibility of growth. This faith is a beacon in the darkness. It guides you through the storm when the way is unclear. And remember, meaning often emerges from suffering not in isolation, but in relationship. Through empathy, compassion, and shared experience, we find a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. Pain can open your heart to the suffering of the world. It can transform isolation into solidarity. You become part of a greater story, one of resilience, courage, and hope. In this story, your pain has purpose. It is not wasted or meaningless. It contributes to the tapestry of human experience. This perspective can change how you live each day, no longer as a victim of circumstance, but as an active participant in life's unfolding drama. You learn to embrace both joy and sorrow as essential threads woven together. This embrace brings wholeness. It allows you to live fully, with depth and authenticity. And that, ultimately, is the gift pain offers. The invitation to awaken to a life rich with meaning, connection, and love. As you move forward on this path, you begin to understand that suffering is not merely a private ordeal, but a gateway to profound transformation. It challenges your assumptions about control, happiness, and the nature of existence itself. You learn that control is often an illusion, and that true freedom lies in the choice of your attitude, how you respond to whatever life presents. This realization brings a shift, from seeking to escape pain to learning how to live with it gracefully. Pain, then, becomes a teacher and a companion, rather than an adversary. Through this partnership, you begin to develop resilience, not a brittle toughness, but a flexible strength rooted in meaning. You find that suffering can deepen your capacity for empathy and compassion. It opens your heart to others who suffer, creating bonds of shared humanity. In those connections, you find healing and hope. You realize that the human spirit is remarkable in its ability to endure and flourish, even in the face of adversity. Your story is not defined solely by your hardships, but by the meaning you forge through them. Every act of courage, every moment of presence, every choice to hope contributes to a narrative of growth. This narrative is yours to write. No matter the pain you face, you retain the power to choose your response. That choice shapes your destiny. It defines the legacy you leave. So when suffering comes, and it will, remember that within it lies a seed of meaning. Tend to that seed with courage and openness. Nurture it with patience and faith. And watch as it blossoms into a life that transcends pain. a life rich with purpose, love, and fulfillment. This is the hidden meaning of pain, the message waiting for you to hear and embrace. Pain is not a mere interruption to life's flow. It is often the very river that carves new landscapes within our souls. It reshapes the contours of our existence, revealing valleys and peaks we never knew existed. When you encounter suffering, you may feel broken, lost, or abandoned. But this breaking is not the end, it is a crucible. It is a crucible. In that fire, the dross of superficiality is burned away, and the pure essence of being is revealed. Have you noticed how the deepest scars often carry the most profound stories? Stories of survival, of transformation, of meaning found in the darkest nights. Each scar is a testament to endurance and courage. Pain invites you to slow down and listen, to the whispers of your heart, to the silent lessons beneath the surface. It demands your presence, your attention, your willingness to be real with yourself. This authenticity is the soil from which meaning grows. Without it, suffering remains a senseless burden. With it, suffering becomes a bridge, a passage to greater understanding. Consider the times you have experienced loss or hardship. Perhaps you lost someone dear, faced illness, or endured betrayal. In those moments, the world may have seemed to collapse. Yet, out of that collapse, something new can emerge. A redefinition of values, a deepening of love, a newfound purpose. Pain awakens us to the preciousness of life. It teaches us that every breath, every moment is a gift. This awareness transforms how we live. No longer taking things for granted, we move through the world with gratitude and reverence. It also teaches us humility, the recognition that we are not masters of all things. There are forces beyond our control, and surrendering to this truth is a form of strength. Strength that allows us to face uncertainty with grace. This grace is not passive resignation. It is an active engagement with life, even when it hurts. It is the courage to say yes to life in all its complexity. The paradox of pain is that it can deepen joy. By tasting sorrow, we learn to savor happiness more fully. By experiencing loss, we appreciate presence. Pain enriches our emotional palate, allowing us to feel more deeply and authentic. In this way, suffering is not the opposite of happiness. It is a vital part of it. Your journey through pain is uniquely your own, but it connects you to the universal human experience. You are part of a vast web of life, linked to every soul that has suffered and survived. This connection is a source of strength and hope. It reminds us that we do not endure pain in isolation. We are woven into a greater story, one of resilience, love, and transformation. This story continues through you. Your willingness to face suffering and seek meaning adds a new chapter. A chapter of courage, growth, and hope. No matter what challenges arise, remember that your response shapes your destiny. You can choose to be defeated by pain or to be strengthened by it. This choice is your greatest power. It affirms your humanity and your capacity to transcend hardship. So embrace the hidden meaning of pain. Let it guide you to deeper understanding, richer connection, and fuller life. This is not a promise that suffering will disappear. It is a promise that suffering can lead you to a new way of being, one grounded in meaning and love. And that is a gift beyond measure. In the midst of pain, time itself seems to warp. Moments stretch and contract, some dragging endlessly, others passing in a blur. This distortion reflects our inner turmoil. When we are hurting, our perception of time becomes intertwined with the intensity of our emotions. Yet, within this altered sense of time lies an opportunity. The present moment, no matter how painful, is the only point where meaning can be found. Meaning cannot be retrieved from the past nor manufactured in the future. It emerges only here, now. This presence to the present is a practice, a discipline. It asks us to return again and again to what is, without judgment or resistance. Pain invites us to meet life fully, even when it is difficult. This meeting is an act of bravery. It means saying, I am here. I am willing to face what is. Such willingness opens the door to transformation, because pain that is acknowledged and felt deeply can be transmuted. It can be alchemized into wisdom, strength, and compassion. Think of the most profound teachers in history. Often their wisdom was born from suffering. Their pain gave them insight into the human condition that no comfort could provide. Their stories remind us that suffering can be a source of growth, not just loss. This growth is not linear or guaranteed. It is messy and unpredictable. Sometimes suffering overwhelms, and meaning seems elusive. In those times, patience is essential. Patience with yourself, with the process, with life. Meaning may be hidden beneath layers of grief, anger, or despair, but it is there waiting, and the search itself is part of the meaning. This search calls forth the best in us, the courage to keep going, the openness to learn, the humility to accept help. You are not alone in this search. Others walk alongside you, whether seen or unseen. Community, connection, and compassion are lifelines. Reach out when you need support. Let others share the burden. In vulnerability, we find strength. In shared suffering, we find solidarity. This solidarity is a powerful antidote to isolation and despair. It reminds us that we belong. Belonging is fundamental to healing. When you feel seen, heard, and valued, your pain loses some of its sting. You are reminded that you are more than your suffering. You are a whole person, worthy of love and dignity. This recognition can ignite hope. Hope is not naive optimism. It is a deep knowing that despite darkness, light is possible. This knowing sustains us through the hardest times. It is the light by which we navigate the night. As you continue your journey, remember, pain is a doorway. It opens into the vast landscape of the human spirit. Beyond it lies possibility. Possibility to find meaning, to grow, to connect, to love. This landscape is yours to explore. It is rich with potential and promise. No matter how deep the suffering, you can emerge transformed. Stronger, wiser, more compassionate, more alive. This is the hidden meaning of pain you need to discover. There is a paradox at the heart of suffering. It reveals our fragility and our strength at the same time. Pain unmasks the illusion of permanence, showing us how everything changes, how nothing lasts forever. This impermanence can feel terrifying. The ground shifts beneath our feet, and the familiar dissolves. Yet, within this very impermanence lies a hidden gift. Because if nothing lasts, then nothing can trap us forever. Pain, like all things, will pass. This awareness brings relief, not to deny the reality of suffering, but to recognize its temporary nature. It invites patience, a softening of resistance, and a trust in life's unfolding. Trust does not mean passivity. It means engagement with life as it is, with openness to whatever arises. In this openness, we find freedom. Freedom to experience fully without being consumed. Freedom to choose meaning despite uncertainty. Freedom to live authentically, even when life feels fragile and fleeting. This freedom is the essence of what I call tragic optimism. To affirm meaning, even when confronted with life's harshest realities. Tragic optimism is not easy. It requires strength, perseverance, and faith. Faith not in certainty. It asks us to see suffering not as an end, but as a beginning of transformation, insight, and growth. This perspective changes everything. Suddenly, pain is no longer a dead end. It becomes a portal, a passage into deeper awareness and humanity. When you embrace tragic optimism, you become a participant in life's mystery. You accept that suffering and joy coexist, that loss and love are intertwined, that endings give way to beginnings. This acceptance frees you from bitterness and despair. It allows you to hold life's contradictions with grace. In doing so, you open yourself to a fuller experience of being alive. No longer fragmented by fear or denial, you become whole. This wholeness is not perfection. It is an integration of all parts, light and shadow, strength and vulnerability. It is the dance of existence itself. As you cultivate this dance, you may find that your pain softens, not because it disappears, but because your relationship to it changes. You learn to hold suffering with compassion, to witness it without being overwhelmed, to find moments of peace within the storm. These moments are precious. They are reminders that even in darkness, light exists, that even in pain, there is beauty. This beauty may be subtle, a quiet breath, a gentle smile, a fleeting thought of hope, but it is real. and it sustains you. Pain thus becomes a teacher of presence, compassion, and gratitude. It calls you to live deeply, to love fiercely, to embrace the mystery of life with an open heart. This is the hidden meaning of pain, a meaning that invites you to transform suffering into a path of awakening. When we speak of pain, we often focus on the physical or emotional wounds that afflict us. But pain's true domain is the human spirit, the invisible landscape where meaning is made or lost. This inner realm is where your response to suffering takes shape. It is here that the choice to find meaning or to despair is born. Your spirit, though invisible, is incredibly resilient. Like a flame flickering in the wind, it may waver, but it can endure storms that threaten to extinguish it. Cultivating this resilience is a sacred task. It requires nurturing your inner resources: hope, courage, faith, and love. These are not mere abstractions. They are the lifeblood of the soul, the foundation on which meaning rests. To nurture these qualities, begin with small acts of kindness toward yourself and others. Kindness is a balm for pain. It softens the harsh edges of suffering and creates space for healing. Allow yourself to be gentle when you stumble. Recognize that healing is a process, not an event. There will be days when the weight feels unbearable. On those days, lean into compassion, not judgment. Remember, you are doing the best you can. Each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. This progress is the unfolding of meaning in your life. Another vital resource is connection. Pain often isolates us, making us feel alone in our struggle. Yet, connection is the antidote to isolation. Reach out to those who understand. Share your story when you feel ready. In vulnerability, you find strength. In sharing, you find solidarity. Together, we bear the burdens that feel too heavy alone. Through connection, pain transforms from a solitary burden into a shared experience. This sharing can open new pathways of meaning and hope. Beyond kindness and connection lies the power of purpose. Purpose gives direction to suffering. It turns chaos into coherence, despair into determination. Your purpose might be small or grand, simple or complex. It might involve caring for a loved one, pursuing a passion, or contributing to a cause greater than yourself. Whatever it is, purpose anchors you amidst the storm. It reminds you why you endure. It fuels the courage to keep moving forward. As you cultivate kindness, connection, and purpose, you strengthen your spirit's capacity to find meaning in pain. You become a beacon of hope, not only for yourself but for others. Your journey through suffering can inspire and uplift. This is the paradox of pain. It can break us or build us. It can isolate or connect us. The choice lies within you. As you traverse the terrain of suffering, you begin to see that pain is not merely a trial to endure, but a call to awaken. It shakes you from complacency, jolting you into a deeper awareness of your existence. This awakening is not always comfortable. It may come with disorientation, grief, or even anger. Yet, it is a necessary passage. For in awakening, you shed illusions about yourself, the world, and the nature of happiness. You learn that happiness is not a permanent state, nor is it found in external achievements or possessions. True happiness arises from living a life of meaning, even amid pain. This realization changes your relationship with suffering. You no longer see pain as a punishment or failure. You understand it as part of the human journey, a journey that includes darkness and light, loss and gain, death and rebirth. The metaphor of the phoenix rising from ashes captures this truth. From the depths of destruction, new life emerges. You may feel broken, yet within that brokenness lies the seed of transformation. This transformation is not a quick fix or a magical cure. It is a slow unfolding, a daily commitment to face reality honestly and to choose meaning again and again. Some days you may falter. That is natural. Compassion toward yourself in these moments is essential. Remember, the path to meaning is not a straight line, but a spiral. You circle back, revisiting challenges with new insight and strength. Each iteration deepens your understanding and fortifies your spirit. In this process, suffering becomes a teacher. It reveals what is truly valuable. It highlights your capacity for love, courage, and hope. It calls forth the best in you. And through this call, you discover your authentic self. This self is not defined by external circumstances, but by your inner response. It is the self that endures, transcends, and transforms. This self is your true identity. Embracing this identity brings freedom. Freedom from despair, from victimhood, from the tyranny of pain. You become the author of your story, crafting a narrative of resilience and meaning. This narrative can inspire others. Your journey becomes a beacon of hope in the darkness. It reminds us all that meaning is possible, even in the face of suffering. So I invite you now to embrace your pain as a doorway to awakening, to walk through it with courage and compassion, to discover the hidden meaning that waits patiently within. This meaning is your gift to yourself and to the world. And in it lies the promise of transformation, connection, and peace. In the quiet moments between breaths, when the noise of the world fades, you find yourself face to face with the rawness of your pain. It can feel like a chasm, deep, dark, and endless. But even in that abyss, there is a spark waiting to be kindled. This spark is your inner light, the flame of meaning that no external force can extinguish. It is the voice within that whispers, there is still purpose here. This voice may be faint at times, drowned out by the roar of suffering, yet it is always present. To nurture this spark, you must become a vigilant gardener of your soul. You must tend to it with patience, compassion, and steadfastness. Every small act of awareness, every moment of acceptance, every step forward waters this flame. Do not rush the process. Meaning does not emerge overnight. It is like the slow blooming of a flower, unfolding petal by petal in its own time. This journey through pain is an invitation to become fully human, to embrace your vulnerabilities and your strengths in equal measure. It asks you to recognize that suffering is not a detour from life, but a vital part of its intricate fabric. When you accept this truth, you stop resisting the waves of life. Instead, you learn to ride them, finding balance amid the turbulence. Your heart grows wider. It opens to the beauty and tragedy of existence. It learns to hold joy and sorrow in a single embrace. In this embrace, you find freedom. The freedom to be who you are without masks or pretense. The freedom to say yes to life, even when it hurts. This is the essence of what I call the will to meaning. It is the deep-seated drive within every human being to find purpose and significance, no matter the circumstances. Pain challenges this will. It tests your resolve, but it also offers the opportunity to affirm it with greater strength. Every time you choose meaning in the face of suffering, you affirm your humanity. You say, I am more than my pain. I am a soul seeking purpose. This affirmation is transformative. It changes your relationship with suffering and with life itself. You begin to see that pain, while difficult, is a teacher and a guide. It reveals what is truly important and leads you toward a life of depth and authenticity. So when pain visits you, and it surely will, remember that within it lies the hidden meaning you seek. Welcome it as a messenger, a guide, and a companion on your journey. And trust that, through this journey, you will emerge not just surviving, but truly living.